Hey, Johnny here, and I'm sure you've heard of the 30-year mortgage, probably even the 15-year mortgage, but did you know that there's a 40-year mortgage? Well, probably not because it's not out yet. But as soon as October, we may see a 40-year mortgage become available to home buyers. The question is why? Why does a 40-year mortgage even exist? And will buyers choose the 40-year over the traditional 30-year mortgage? Well, first, let's talk about why it exists. Do you remember back in March 2020, COVID had just hit us? The CARES Act came into effect, and that allowed homeowners to enter into a forbearance program. Essentially, they can hit the pause button on their mortgage payments for up to 6 months. And since then, that mortgage forbearance program has been extended multiple times. The good news, however, is that 72% of people that were once in that program were able to opt out. Essentially, they were able to catch up to their monthly payments. However, there are still 28% of people in those mortgage forbearance programs, and they would benefit greatly from being able to refinance into a 40-year mortgage, allowing them to not only keep their homes, but lower their monthly payments. Another reason why the 40-year mortgage will exist is because we need homes and they're getting expensive. But the reality is that it's a necessity. We live there, we work there, we entertain there, we raise our families in our homes. And for most people, it's their main source of equity. With home prices continuing to rise, especially in the last year, we can see that a 10-year addition to your mortgage term could really split up the payments and make homes more affordable, at least on a monthly basis. However, let's look at some of the drawbacks of a 40-year mortgage. The first thing that came to mind for me is the amount of time it's going to take to pay it off. The average homeowner purchases their first property at 34 years old. With a 40-year mortgage, they're going to finish making their payments at 74, which is like 10 years after the standard retirement age. Ultimately, you would be making a generational investment with a 40-year mortgage, more than ever. That's what they stated about the traditional 30-year mortgage back in the day, but the 40-year mortgage is literally a generational investment. Now, another drawback to the 40-year mortgage is that ultimately, yes, you're going to be paying less on a monthly basis, but you are going to be paying more money in interest and in total for the home. Let's do some math. The median sale price of a home in Southeast Florida right now, as of June 2021, is $475,000. So we're going to use that as an example, and we're going to assume a 3% interest rate and a 20% down payment. Now with this example, a 30-year mortgage with a 3% interest rate is going to be about $1,600 a month. That's just for the mortgage. The total interest paid will be $196,754, and your grand total interest and principal over the 30 years is going to be $576,000 for a $475,000 home. But now let's do the math on a 40-year mortgage. So between the 15 and 30-year mortgage, there's about a 25% increase in the interest rate. So we can assume that in October, when these 40-year mortgages come out, they'll also have a 25% increase for their interest rates. That would put it at around 3.5% if we're working with today's numbers. So if we use that same example with a $475,000 home with a 3.5% interest rate, over the span of 40 years, the total interest paid is actually going to be $326,000. And for that home, you're actually paying a grand total of just over $700,000. Now, this may seem absurd to some of you because you may think, why would I do a 40-year mortgage? That's way too long. And this is normal. Whenever something comes out, any program, early adoption is usually slow. In fact, during the 1920s, the only common mortgage terms were 3 to 5 years. Then the 15-year came out, the 20, 25, and now we have a traditional 30-year mortgage. So while I agree, I don't think that the 40-year mortgage is going to overtake or become the traditional mortgage. I do think that the 30-year is probably going to remain the winner for that. I do feel like in certain circumstances, like for those 28% of people that are on mortgage forbearance programs, it's going to benefit them greatly. They're going to be able to lower their monthly costs and keep their home, which is way better than losing your home. That's for sure. So what's your opinion? Given the same market conditions and prices, would you go for the 15, 30, or 45-year mortgage? Let me know in the comments. So that's it for this video. I will catch you in the next one.